keep going anyway.
Go ahead.
I need a couple of these good Bible verses. Do it good, man. To make it go home. Why would a believer be so willing to forgive a fellow believer? Even though they're slinging mud on them. It's because whenever you are willing to take mud that someone throws on you and you don't get it off of you, there's something called a mud mask, sisters. And you can put mud on the face, let it dry. You have to let it dry though. If you put mud on and wipe it right off, it doesn't have the ability to purify the skin. But when you leave the mud mask on, the elements found inside of the mud, the water in the mud begins to pull poison out of the pores and gives you a deeper cleansing than you ever could have gotten with regular soap and water. So the believer understands that every time someone says something evil, something bad, something suspicious, something that's a lie against, I'm going to let the mud dry up. And then as it dries off, I'm going to peel it off. And I will come from underneath the text. Purer than what it was when I started. But under normal circumstances, the believer, the brother, and the sister are considered a pair of hands. Why not a hand and a foot?
Come on now.
Hands and feet don't do the same thing.
Come on now.
If I'm a hand and you are a foot, we're doing something different. But if we are two pairs of hands, we are focused on a common objective. Prophet Muhammad chose this simile of two hands, not a hand and a foot, because the pair are of mutual assistance towards a single aim. Likewise, brothers and sisters are only complete when they are comrades in a single enterprise.
Come on now.
Y'all still with me?
Yes, sir.
There's three levels of brotherhood and sisterhood.
Come on.
The lowest level is whenever you treat your brother and sister like those that are under your control. So if you have employees, or if you have children, or if you have people that you would consider a neighbor, technically they are under your control. Whenever you are a brother or sister on the lowest level, you give to them whatever you have left over. Which normally means you'll keep 75% for yourself and 25% of what you have will go to somebody else.
Come on now.
But the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that a Muslim, if he has a bowl of bean soup, then the brother or sister owns half of that. Then we are not permitted in the nation of Islam to exist on the lowest level of brotherhood.
Right.
Second level is whenever your brother and sister that you see, you judge them as yourself. So whatever you have, you're willing to give them the exact same thing. But the highest level of brotherhood is when you prefer for your brother or your sister more so than you prefer for yourself.
Yes, sir.
When you are interested in their needs above your own needs.
Go ahead.
That's the highest level of brotherhood.
Go ahead.
Well, we are in what you would call the continual process of being resurrected.
Yes, sir.
If there's 7 hells, right?
Come on now.
And there's 7 heavens, then in that are 14 layers or areas of existence. We don't believe that heaven and hell are places you go after you're dead.
No,
Do it.
No, sir.
But they are conditions of life, states of mind, and states of being.
Yes, sir.
So the lowest level of hell is the abyss.
Yes, sir.
But when you are resurrected, you might be resurrected out of that level of hell to the next level.
Yes, sir.
But you can't stop at that point. You got to stay continually a part of the resurrection process. Until you get all the way out of hell. Then when you get into the first level of heaven, that's still 6 more above. So the continual resurrection never stops. And this is what happens to the Muslim. That's been a part of something for a protracted amount of time. If they've been resurrected to this level, but began to become inactive, undisciplined, not focused, negligent in the duty, then they begin to go back down into a level of hell that they already have overcome. And by the time they look in the spiritual mirror, they begin to think that there's something either wrong with me or something wrong with the process, and man is so arrogant.
That's right.
So
Yes, sir.
So egotistical and so self-centered
Yes, sir.
that instead of saying there's something wrong with me, I'm going to judge the process.
Yes, sir. That's the
No, all praise to keep your love. But when we involve in continual resurrection, then we understand that we have to always continue to grow. Every Muslim will reach a point in their Islamic development where you will receive no fulfillment from receiving nothing.
Go ahead.
The only way you will ever receive fulfillment on a certain level of Muslim development is when you're given something.
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
That's another lecture for another time.
Go ahead, sir.
Well, if we are in the continual resurrection, what is resurrection? Resurrection is going from death into life.
Come on now.
The Bible says you can tell when man has grown from death into life because he loves them. So you can determine the degree of resurrection.
Yes, sir.
You can determine what level of hell or heaven somebody's on based off of how much they love the brotherhood.
Go ahead.
So the one that loves the brotherhood and sisterhood the most is the most resurrected.
Go ahead. Yes, sir.
Is that all right?
Yes, sir.
Brotherhood and sisterhood is a spiritual relationship where two people keep each other clean while laboring as comrades in a single enterprise.
Come on now.
Two pair of hands that watch one another.
Yeah.
Two pair of hands that are gathered together with one aim, one purpose in a single enterprise.
Go ahead, sir.
Relationships start with, are sustained by, and destroyed by communication.
Come on now. Come on now.
Relationships start with, are sustained by, and destroyed by communication.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Communication comes primarily in three forms.
Come on.
One is called body language.
Right.
So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught the brothers and the sisters whenever they sit, to sit with their back straight.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, right?
That's right.
With the left hand on their lap and the right hand over top of it.
Yes, sir.
Why? There's something spiritual about it.
Yeah. Come on.
The righteous hand.
Yes, sir.
Holding down the wicked hand.
Yes, sir.
See?
Yeah. Got it checked.
But there's another side to that.
Go ahead.
Body language can tell somebody what you're thinking.
Yes, sir. Go ahead. I'll say that.
Y'all with me?
Go ahead, sir. Say that.
Watch this. Body language.
Come on now.
If you have one word to describe that, you would say what?
Lazy.
Lazy.
Yes, sir.
Is that right?
Go ahead.
They tell you when you're doing an interview, you want to show how interested you are in what the interviewer is saying, how anxious you are, sit on the edge. Forward a little bit. That represents eagerness.
Yes, sir.
Is that right?
That's right, sir.
Teach, Brother Nuri.
I'm bored and tired of it.
Go ahead.
Am I telling the truth?
Go ahead.
But whenever a sister or brother sitting like this,
Come on now.
smile, looking around, you don't know what they think.
Go ahead.
Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teaching us to supreme body language.
Breathe.
Then there's the facial expressions.
Come on. Say that.
Is that right?
Yes, sir. Teach them there.
Anyone that wants to frown all the time, you will be old and ugly.
Go ahead. Say that.
I'm going to say it for you.
Go ahead.